Hello, everybody. This is Jill Garvin, the Director of Psychological Health for the 102nd Intelligence Wing. Welcome back to our wellness podcast. Today, I have Kristen Alexander here with us. She is from Heroes in Transition. A lot of you have probably heard about them. One of my favorite organizations and favorite people. They assist veterans and military families and do a lot for our community and for a lot of our members here at the 102nd, actually. Kristen and her husband, John, they are both couples group facilitators, and Kristen is the spouses group facilitator, and John is the veterans facilitator. Co-facilitator, am I saying that the right? Facilitators, right?
Yeah, coordinators, facilitators.
That's what I meant to say.
It's all good.
I wrote, so coordinators. I apologize. So one of the reasons I wanted to talk to Kristen about some of the programs and offerings that Heroes in Transition has is because a lot of people I'm finding, especially since COVID, have really been struggling in relationships, marriages that have broken apart or relationships that are really, really struggling. And a lot of people are struggling right now. And I have definitely had an uptick in my office and my arena around people struggling with that. And Heroes in Transition certainly has stepped up during COVID and is offering a lot of different things to meet the needs of our veterans and their families. And since Kristen is involved in the program for couples and in relationships, I wanted her to tell us about what they're doing and introduce yourself and tell us, how did you get involved with Heroes in Transition, you and your husband, give us a little background.
Awesome. Thanks, Jill. So my name's Kristen Alexander, as Jill said, and we are going into our 5th year with Heroes. It is, my husband had started with them in a conversation of facilitating a veterans group and carrying that on. And I was kind of like, yeah, well, there's spouses too. So, because my husband's a veteran, so we've been through the deployments and, all the things. And so that really sparked an awesome conversation about starting with couples first and building the trust there, and then breaking off and doing kind of separate groups. So we started from the grassroots up, and we started with the couples group. We created a couples group, and it just has continued to grow and grow and grow. Now we have to do lotteries for our events.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been amazing, and it's been amazing to see the growth, not only just within the organization and the group, but the growth and the friendships that have come together because of that space.
I've heard some amazing feedback from our members that have gone on some of the couples events and retreats, and it sounds like it is really well planned and just very therapeutic and amazing.
Yep. It's really great coming from, because I'm not a therapist, I'm a spouse, I am half of the married couple. So that's the role that we take with it, is, creating the relatedness of another angle, and what that does is that opens up the door for more conversation, for maybe more needs that, whether it be the veteran or the couple or the spouse might need. They tend to be a little bit more open to maybe furthering on with other areas. But, reading just some of the things that, we get feedback on, and with COVID, it's been tough because a big part of what we do is we do bi-monthly events. So what we do is we do, like last month, February, was a couples group event, and we did a virtual Valentine's dinner that was amazing. And then this month the veterans will do an event, and the spouses will do events separate. And then the month after, April, we'll go back to couples. So we kind of alternate. So it builds up the individuality, because to be able to be strong as a couple, you have to know who you are, right? Like, so you still have to have that sense of self. And independence.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that goes away as a military spouse.
Right.
But thank goodness for Zoom. We've been able to go virtual. And it was like, hey, we don't have to give up everything. But it has been a big part of, like I said, what we do is we would do an event to kind of get people together, socializing, that kind of thing. And then we would do dinner. And not being able to do the dinner was a fear that we would lose that connection, because when you're sitting down having dinner, and that's where the connections are coming in, the smaller conversations and, that kind of thing. And, but we've been able to, through being virtual, we've been able to still somewhat keep that connection. And we've actually had a lot of new people join us, which has been great, because a lot of people don't feel comfortable coming into a group.
Right.
So the virtual aspect has been a blessing. There's a blessing in everything, as we know. Has been a blessing to allow people that maybe would feel a little bit intimidated or uncomfortable to be around people physically at first, to kind of come in this way, And like one of the things was feedback we got was, it's such a pleasure knowing that in difficult times we can still grow and adapt to continue to get out there and build your support group. So just knowing that, providing that space for them, and don't think we're not getting anything from it. Me and my husband, it's just, it's pretty amazing. So
how did you and John, so you're doing this as a couple, right?
Yep.
Obviously. And what kind, since you're a spouse as well, what sorts of things have helped you along your journey in marriage as a military spouse? What things have helped the two of you stay married?
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
Communication, for sure. And a lot of what takes a long time is to really learn how to listen, and listen in a way that you get the intention of the conversation, right? So it's like kind of building those skills, and I remember when we went to therapy back in the day, and just one of the exercises that we had to do was sit back to back and take 10 minutes taking turns, because then you're not interrupting.
Yeah.
He couldn't see my face because I was a crier. I might still be, but
That's okay.
Doing things like that, So like one of the exercises that we did during one of our retreats was called a recreation exercise. So one partner would say something and then would express whatever they were going to express. And then the other partner would come back and say, okay, so this is what I heard, and would say it back. And then they would have a conversation. Did they really hear what that person was saying?
Yeah.
So it's really, and it's just practice. And when times get crazy, we all fall out of it a little bit. So these reminders of the things that we do, and we continue to really put in how important communication is a good reminder for everyone that you just can't be successful without communication.
Yeah, communication is so key.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned, well, just an idea of one of the things that you do at the retreat. Yeah, tell us a little bit. What are the events like? What do you do?
Yeah, so we have twice a year. So we do the every other month, so that every month there is an event for a veteran spouse or
And what
couples.
type of events do you normally have?
This month for the spouses, I am I'm leading a vision board workshop. So we're going to focus on hope. Like, what can we bring? What can we create? And really just kind of getting down. I have a whole worksheet. There's a process. It's not just cutting out pictures and pasting them. We're going to do some digging, in creating. And with that, the veterans this month they're doing yoga and meditation, which is awesome.
With Sarah, right?
Yeah.
She? Good.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
I
Sarah
love
Daly.
Sarah.
We love Sarah.
Yeah.
And also too, I know they're still doing. They do some work with Marie Bartram also, and I know that they're still doing some like weekly virtual events too, just to kind of keep people connected, which is super important. Every Saturday, I do a spouses coffee chat virtual, which has really been a huge part of staying connected.
I love
with that
that
kind
idea.
of thing.
What time is that?
9 a.m. on Saturdays. And we do have a Facebook group for couples. And we also have email lists that I can give you, before we wrap up, how people can get connected to that kind of stuff. But what we do, a couple of our biggest things is twice a year we do a couples retreat. So we, and they both have a little bit of a different focus. One of the couples retreats is really about building the community and teamwork, also working on communication skills with each other, but like building community and just really getting that you're not by yourself in this. You've got people, and then the other one is really digging deeper into your relationship, and really just looking at how you can work on those communication skills, different things, different exercises that you can do, how to communicate in a way that is effective, because there's all different levels of communication.
It is a
as
skill.
we know. And to be able to communicate effectively is a huge skill, and, unfortunately we're not born with it. We have to create it. But we also have to be committed to it.
Yeah.
And really just being able to get on each other's level, really just listen to the other person. One of the things that we learned was doing a daily temperature reading. And what that is there's like 5 different topics, and you take turns, and there's no discussion about it. You're literally just filling in, this is what's happening, this is what's new, blah, 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 whatever, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, I was going to say, you mentioned community, connection, communication, and committed. And that just paints such a wonderful picture on, how we have successful relationships, whether they're friendships or romantic relationships in our marriages, but especially that connection piece. And I love that you guys are keeping folks connected.
Yeah, thank you. It's, and really just looking at, again, some of the things that they give us back, the feedback, like what stands out is reconnect, relearning love languages, that kind of stuff. Really just having one-on-one time to themselves instead of always being a parent or a worker or, something like that. And what happens is a lot of times they don't, especially with our military families and couples, they don't have family here, so they don't really get a lot of that one-on-one time, so
Right.
now when events come up, they're a little bit more apt to might look for a babysitter and make that extra effort to get that one-on-one time. And then when they experience that one-on-one time, they're like, oh, that's who you are.
Right.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, you're an adult too.
Yeah, right. So it's really been so amazing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys do so much. And again, I know we're all appreciative of, especially during COVID, just stepping up and having all of this. And because most everything is free, right?
Everything is free.
Everything is free.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
is amazing.
Yep. Yep.
And I love, there are a lot of silver linings that came from COVID, especially Zoom. And like you said, there are a lot of veterans or service members, those that suffer with anxiety or PTSD, and they don't necessarily want to go into a crowded room with other people. And so having the option to see people on a screen and you're in your own safe, comfortable environment is wonderful.
Yeah,
Something wonderful that's come out of
It kind of
this.
fills that gap a little bit.
Yeah.
And for our Valentine's dinner, we had, everybody got to pick up their dinner. They got a choice of their meal. They went and picked it up at Marshland too. And we met on Zoom at 7 p.m. And there were a lot of people that didn't know each other because we've been in this for a year. So we haven't really been able to, do a lot of the connecting. But by the time that dinner lasted like 3 hours. And we were like, wow, like we laughed and people just got to really know each other and people were sharing. And it was just, it was just really great for them to have that, like, I'm with my people.
A breather, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's such power in just being around other people that you can identify with and understand military life, culture, marriage, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have something coming up?
We have, well, in March, March 20th, we have the spouses event, and that's going to be a vision board workshop. And then the veterans are doing, they're doing yoga and meditation. I think that might be March 13th, might be the week before, I think maybe. And then there's also, we have a families group too, and Casey and Aaron Van Heusen run that, and that's amazing. So we do, and those are monthly events. And, we couldn't do it without the hard work of our donors and sponsors who are like,
Yeah, I know. And that's because they see all the great work you're doing. They love you guys. It's just amazing to see the outpouring of support and love that Heroes in Transition gets from the community.
it's been amazing. And we do have, it's the full moon.
Yeah.
That's why but we do have the Rock for Hit coming up, which is like one of our, aside from the gala, well, both of those are our biggest fundraisers. And the Rock for Hit, like everybody can take part. You can run and walk, you can do whatever, and that is going to be based right out of Mashpee. And that is the end of April.
Okay.
April 30th to March
Yeah, I saw
2nd.
that you guys will be meeting at the Heritage Park at the...
Yep, that's going to be our home base, and we have teams, and we've been doing that. I think this is our 5th or 6th year doing that. The first one, we did the beta run to New York City and back, and that was pretty amazing.
Everybody knows about the Rock. I mean, you guys...
I think so. But it's so great, and that's when, and we also, what happens with the Rock is we have a lot of the people that participate in our groups, that's where they come to give back. So they volunteer and they kind of, help the whole thing happen. But again, we couldn't do it without the people that sponsor us, and, our donors, our board of directors are amazing. They just have so much trust in us, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you do amazing things and you have amazing results. You've helped a lot of people. Like I said, there's so many 102nd members here that have given me feedback over the years about just all the different ways that Heroes in Transition has helped them. And we've been able to call on you guys when we've needed something or needed a resource for someone. It's just great to be able to pick up the phone and get you guys anytime. So thank you. So is there anything else you'd like to mention that's coming up, or how do people find you?
We do have a website, heroesintransition.org, and an easy way to remember how to get connected to the groups, it would be if you were looking to get information about the spouses group, you would email spouses@heroesintransition.org. If you wanted to get information about the veterans group, veterans@heroesintransition, and couples at Heroes, families at Heroes. So we try to keep it simple, that kind of thing. I know the couples group, we have a private Facebook group that is specifically for military couples. The families group has a Facebook group for that. But definitely go and, like Heroes in Transition on Facebook, and you'll see all the connections there.
You're on Instagram too, right?
I think so. I should be better at Instagram, and I'm just not.
Some people are more Instagram and some people are more Facebook.
Yeah, but I think we have an amazing social media guy, Chris. He's just awesome. And he gets all of our stuff everywhere that it needs to go.
And the emails you mentioned, if they go on the website, all
they'll be able to find that too, and then they'll also be able to see, we're pretty good about, responding quickly, and, like the spouses group events are for spouses of military members, the veterans events are for that, that kind of thing. So, so
wonderful.
That's it. Like, just come see us no matter what, rain, shine, we make it happen.
Especially with Zoom, it doesn't matter what the weather is.
Yeah, in person, not in person, And
I love that you guys are doing Rock the way you're doing it. I don't think I could have ever participated before, but I'm planning on doing it this year.
Yeah.
I have been running, but just, again, the way that some of the different options, I think, will make it more available.
Yeah, we had people from other countries participate last year. So that's the thing with COVID too. Like, it's kind of, you have to be creative, right?
Yes.
And you have to open it up. We had families participate together
Yeah.
and they would send in their miles, and then we'd add them up on our team or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a
love it.
way, whether you want to come and walk and, the registration form is out, I believe, which is cool. So anybody can register individually or as a team. And then, or, come down and help us out, just be a smiling face and cheer us on because we'll be tired.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And please thank Cindy and Nicole for all the, and
Absolutely.
your wonderful board. I appreciate everything that you guys do for the community, and I appreciate you coming on today. And we'll definitely have you guys back because you're always doing new and innovative and ongoing things. And I want to remind people that you guys are here. So thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.